Oh, the
4 over
dividers.
4,
Yeah.
but they're only squares. But one of them's in the bathroom, another one's in the hallway. So
Okay, good evening. Seeing quorum.
then on the roof.
I saw that, Joe.
Seeing quorum, the chair opens up the Mashpee Planning Board meeting of Wednesday, December 21st, 2016, 7 p.m., being held here at Mashpee Town Hall, 16 Great Neck Road North, Mashpee, Massachusetts. I'd like to welcome everybody, remind everybody that this meeting is being videographed and recorded. And if you have an opportunity to address the board, please use the microphone, state your name and your business. Next item is I would like to invite everybody to stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have some minutes in our packet from December 7th.
Which will live in infamy.
That's right. That's right.
What do we do that night? That was so bad.
It was almost before my time.
Almost.
Really?
18 months.
Wow.
I was born the month the Korean War started, so.
Okay, are there any corrections or comments on the minutes? If none, the chair would accept a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Is there-
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Special permits. Applicant is Lake Ave Holdings LLC, Knockabout Beer Company LLC. The location is 13 Lake Avenue. The request is approval of special permit modifications regarding external changes to approve microbrewery building to the patio area behind. On December 7th, 2016, this board voted that a public hearing can be waived.
You should have a set, 11 by 17 set of,
Not in my
Plans in your
packet,
packet?
no. No, not in my packets.
these are gonna be.
Oh, you really have to fix them, huh?
Haven't had time to know.
Oh, these are the old ones then.
Page.
Those are the original ones, yes.
But
Oh, those are the,
The revised.
Yeah, Mary is a set. There's a full set. That's what came in, although,
let you guys share and, we'll share and David and. Okay, so the chair recognizes the project proponent.
Conditions A.
Good evening, folks. Peter Murner with Knockabout here. A few weeks ago, we met to get the ball rolling on this, and since then, we've met with plan, design review, and historic. So the plans you have in front of you are what we initially submitted, and I can be more than happy to talk through them. Going through the other committees, we had some additional changes that they requested that we can cover, and will be compiled and created into another plan set that we will get to you folks with any additional changes that we talk about today to be approved for the next meeting. That's the plan as of right now, unless there's any unforeseen issues. But I'd be more than happy to talk through what our proposed changes were from the last special permit that we had gotten granted from you folks. So we have on our site plan, I'll start there. We have on our third page, the Bracken plan. This will not be changing at this point based on the other meetings we've had before today in this meeting. What has changed is we pushed back the retaining walls of the patio itself, making a larger area for outdoor beer garden and patio space. We're staying underneath our 1,000 square foot of disturbance that was approved with our notice of intent at the state and local level. That's indicated on the drawing in green. We're at 590 square feet, so we are under that 1,000 square foot. The rain gardens and the overflow, rain garden, overflow drywall are still in place. Everything that was requested in the last round is still in place. The backup spaces and everything else that was originally requested in the last round of special permitting. Lighting, everything else is the same, so only change on that was pushing those walls back and expanding our outdoor patio area. We'll go through the floor plan. So this is the first floor, the main floor. The changes on this have to do with our positioning of the French door. We've moved it from this back hallway, where it originally was in the last plan, to now in the tap room. Our goal was to eliminate the customers having to go back into this space, so that can be a staff-only area. And also, we'll be directing the customers out to the beer garden and the patio out to this side now. So with that change, we also added some additional windows and other elevations here. We also added a door to the back. That's where we'll be loading in materials and different supplies. We wanted to make that wider so that we could just get more material in and out. Our pad that we see back here for the utilities has been expanded a little bit. Once we got into the actual mechanicals of HVAC and all the things that were going to be going in, we had to expand that a little bit to accommodate our brewing as well as the building equipment. And we're just seeing an updated version of our brewing equipment here that we have it more sussed out. And so since our last time seeing each other, we've been really designing all the mechanicals and the brew systems and all the things that go into the building. So you're just seeing more flushed out plan. And again, once we can get all of your changes incorporated, we'll be getting building permits that will come after the special permit modification, and we'll still go in front of the building in conservation and everything else that's outlined in our special permit before we start any demolition or construction. The basement, we've just rearranged the different areas in here, just the reality of tank sizes and different placements of mechanicals. So really, it's the same sort of things happening. It's cold storage for beers and for kegs and for our fermenters. It's just things have been changed around based on structural issues and different mechanical requirements to maximize our space, as well as to make sure that we can fit everything since it's in the basement. We have not changed the footprint or anything like that in the building. This is all staying exactly the same as last time. Second floor, we're not touching this space. This is a staff area, staff break room, storage, and office space. Now the elevations, we can go from each section. Changes on this front. One thing that we tried to do in this round, in addition to making our changes for the floor plan and some of the structural and mechanical changes, was to kind of try to give our building a little bit more of a barn feel. Make it feel like it's somewhere a little more rustic than a house, just because right now it feels very house-like. We wanted to try to do some things to give some flavors of a barn. So we last round we had cedar shingles in the front. We are proposing that we continue the board and batten that we have on the other three sides of the building to the front. Currently, the building has T111 board and batten on it, so it's basically replacing what is existing there, and we're going to be painting it cranberry is the stain we'd like to get approved for that. So gone through the other commissions, and they've approved that as well. The windows on the left side here were double hung before. We're going for more barn-style windows instead of doing the double hung windows. That has been approved by the Historic Commission. On the front, they're really, one of the plans you see here, we've put in both asphalt and a metal roof. The commission has decided that we're not going to be going with the metal roof, so we'll be going back to the asphalt roof on this. So our next round of drawings will show that and indicate that you guys will see at the next meeting. And up top, we have the cupola. Before we had a cupola on our plan, it was more of a house-style cupola, a little bit more narrow. We've made it wider to give it more of a barn feel. This will not be illuminated. This will be no lights in there, so that's one of the notes that we got from one of the other commissions or meeting groups. On the front, everything else is pretty much the same is the same from last time, except for the things I had just mentioned there with the color and the cupola and these windows on the left. On our left elevation here, we're seeing where this is where the old French door was going to be, and like I mentioned, we're moving it to this location here. So this back hallway will become, staff space to get down to the basement. And we're putting the same windows that we have up front there, the barn-style windows. When I say barn-style, they're just really simple square windows with 4 panes in it. And then we've added these additional windows here to bring more light into the bar, into the tavern area. Again, the cupola, as seen before, the same board and batten. We'll be doing the asphalt roof. We will be doing a metal roof on the cupola. The historic said that that was okay for us to do. That's pretty standard. This building has it. The church across the street has it. So the cupolas typically will have that metal roof type to it. And then, of course, the cranberry stain color. The rear elevation here, changes from last time, is that overhead door that I had mentioned is going to be our access to the basement. And then we had a garage door at the back last time. We're replacing that with just a standard door. The reason is we needed some additional wall space to mount mechanicals and run piping, and that garage door was getting in our way, so we just had to reduce that to a standard size door. Again, that area will be for staff and not for the public. You're seeing the cupola, the windows, the service window, the overhang, all those things are the same as last time. And then the right elevation, currently these 3 windows are existing. We'll be keeping those as is, and we'll be removing these 3 windows. That was something that the historic wanted us to remove. So those 3 windows will be removed, and we'll stick with our standard windows that we have there now. They're keeping as is, basically replacing and repairing anything that needs to be done on that front. And then we have our sign design, and this has not changed at all from last time, and that was approved by everyone that we've seen so far. So no changes on that front. And that's really it. Love to answer any questions and talk through any thoughts you might have.
Just for information, you all have a copy of the Historic District Commission's decision listing the 6 conditions that are basically, we approve this, we didn't approve that, et cetera. I can read them, or you can read them, or whatever.
Hopefully I covered them as well.
Let me just read them out so it's for the record, the public knows. Number 1, the upper level windows proposed for the south side of the building not approved. Those are those triangular.
Those 3, yeah.
Those are gone.
I think you have the existing drawing.
And just so you know, the previous plan actually had smaller windows at the bottom, and they're going back to the size the windows were in the original, in the
currently
building
there.
now. So they're bigger than what you approved, but the same size as what's there. Right?
Right.
Correct, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and we just want to see as much of that cool brewing equipment as possible. So that was,
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Now, on the previous plan, in the front, you had 3 double-hung windows, which are normally historically preferred, but in this case, after looking at the floor plan of the building, that's actually where the bathrooms are. And so in order to not have big double-hung windows in the bathrooms, the board agreed that the reduced size left front windows are approved. Number 3, the roof shall be asphalt shingles, which is what's there now, so it's a replacing kind, with different, darker color, though. The cupola may have a standing seam metal roof, as shown on the plan. 5, the proposed board and batten siding on the front was approved, as was noted. And then 6, the building wall color cranberry sauce wood stain is approved. And we had a sample of that. Not sure if I have it with me, but it's about the color of cranberry sauce.
dark cranberry, very
Looks
nice.
nice.
Yeah. So, you wanted to like the cupola, but,
No, that was one of their things, based on the rules and regulations around light pollution. They just wanted to make sure that it was not lit. So that was just something that they wanted to point out, that if we're going to have the cupola, that it would not be lit.
Yeah, that came from where? Design or plan review or
design.
somebody, the design review,
Yeah,
yeah. They didn't want to turn it into a lighthouse.
We're afraid that the light, if it was open across the lake or whatever,
Yeah.
and where the area is so desolate, and all of a sudden you have a light up high in the cupola, it could go for quite a distance, maybe.
Yeah, the board put a similar condition on the Kenmark building there, where they have a little cupola, but it wasn't not allowed to be lighted, so.
I'm such a city
consistent.
girl. I'm like, I like the light.
We approved the windows,
too.
the design review. We thought
Yeah, I did
the
like the,
windows
on the
looked good,
right elevation, yeah.
as long as the woods were preserved on that side, but the Historic Commission,
District Commission. Pick on the right commission. There's 2.
historic.
Which is
wasn't
fine, we want
Historical
Historic
and
District
the Historic
Commission.
District, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta put the district, because
Oh,
then there's a
historic district.
historical
Oh,
commission. I know.
it? Mayor Cooper.
It's
Mea cupola.
mea cupola.
There is a representative from the Historical Commission on the Historic
Oh, I
District
know,
Commission, but
I have to be careful.
They just do that to set us up.
Yeah.
So that we,
fine.
can you go back to the floor plan?
Which one, the main floor?
Yeah, yes.
for reference, this is what you had previously. I'm sorry, I don't have large ones.
So,
Different layout of the bar and the
yeah.
tables.
So your customers are gonna be in what area outside?
Outside will be in this cordoned off area that will be contained with the retaining wall as well as the fence that we have to keep it a secured space.
landscaping.
So they'll come in the front door, they'll then either
you wanna
be in the
see
tap
that?
room or they will go out the French door to go to the patio area. The patio area will have the appropriate gates to meet all code and regulation for handicap as well as fire and emergency exits.
So,
Well,
so will people be bringing their beverages outside, or do they get served outside?
There's a service window outside.
Okay.
That they can go to, as well
Okay.
as they could take their beer from the inside and bring it out the French doors as well.
So my only comment was the area way over to the right is a nice big area. And so I'm just thinking people are gonna, if
They
I,
would walk around.
yeah, see, if I was there, I'd go back out the front door and go over, so.
Yeah, we'll have a host stand, and we'll
Yeah.
make sure that no one's allowed to go out the front
Yeah.
door with the product.
yeah.
And why can't they go out the front door with the
Well, I
product?
mean, from a liquor licensing point of view, whatever the rules and regulations are, typically it needs to be within a contained space. So our
Yeah,
permanent
can't
area
bring a
will be on the
container outside the
inside,
front
and then,
door.
Yeah, it's not a package store, it's a,
Yeah,
so if they're buying a to-go package, which will be part of our application, like a sealed package, like a growler or a four-pack that is not open, they'll be able to purchase that and bring it to go. They will not be able to open it or consume it on premise.
right.
So if they get a draft beer or a sample of a beer, they'll drink that inside. If they have a sealed package, they would then bring that home with them to consume elsewhere.
It's just, from a marketing point of view, you might want to make sure that you make it very attractive for them to go around the building to get to that other spot.
That's where they'll
Get
see
to the
brewery
other
equipment.
spot is where you see all the cool machinery through those big windows.
Okay, yeah, that was,
That's, the windows, the garage door on the front, the windows we'll have here will be a draw to get folks. And, this will be sort of a more busy area with the food truck, so when folks want to sort of relax and sit down,
Okay.
they'll come down to this side.
All right.
They'll be able to see the flume pond and the herring run from there as well, which will be a great view for them
it'd
to
be
check
a
out.
good draw.
What's
Okay.
the height on the fencing that contains your area, outdoor space?
On these ones here, I believe it's going to be right around 3 feet. There's a requirement on it. It's but a standard, fence you'd see in a front yard. These won't be like tall fences, and it will also not be like, it won't be, you'll be able to see through it. Almost like if you were to have metal fence or a wooden fence, but with.
Yeah, I was wondering the texture and what's it gonna look like as well.
Yeah, so right now, our plan is to have a standard metal black fence on that, and if that changes, we need to run that by you folks, we can definitely do that. We want it to feel Cape Cod, but at the same time, we also want to have a more barn feel, so that's why we're pushing the barn approach with our aesthetic on the building, so.
The black fence tends to, on a commercial property, it tends to kind of fade away.
And then the retaining walls will all
Visually.
be.
Visually, it fades away, you know what I
Physically,
mean,
yeah.
like it,
we hope this stays
Sounds nice against the cranberry.
yeah, I kinda like it.
We'll have black fixtures on any
Cities
lighting.
used to take them away.
All right. It's exciting. It's a beautiful spot,
Can't wait.
yeah, it really
It's gonna be
is.
nice to have the building alive again.
Yeah,
It's an
Gotta
eyesore.
get Earl over there. He was here this afternoon for.
oh, that'd be
historic, so-
great. That would be great.
Bill, what do you think? He goes, oh, I
Any other
sold it
comments?
a while back. Yeah, right.
Charlie, do you have any? Tom, do you have any?
No, just that I need direction on drafting up a special permit decision. I was going to put in there as conditions, thing about no light in the cupola, and then mention those 6 same items from Historic District.
Yeah.
The Plan Review Committee just basically approved it as is. I tried to get them, make it subject to Historic District approval, but for some reason, they didn't want to do that. Design Review did.
I mean, I
for the
don't think there's
Historic District, but,
anything that he's proposing that I wouldn't approve later. I hate to make you come back, but I guess we have to.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest change is just those three upper windows there,
Upper
that
windows,
historical
no.
didn't like.
We just
yeah.
gotta delete those windows and get you guys updated copies.
I
We can
think
come
it's
back.
everything,
And theoretically, you need a decision to look at and.
Okay,
and
all right.
Have somebody sign off on
All
too,
right.
so.
Then I guess you will have to come back.
We had 3 meetings,
Yeah,
this
these
is
are
the
the
4th
regular
meeting
things.
in the last 2 days, and it's really
Isn't it
hard to put together a
incredible? It's
decision,
incredible.
I mean, very,
For January
very,
4th.
very supportive you guys have been, so thank you.
Yeah.
on balance. I see a few around.
All right, so I think that our straw poll is, yeah, we like it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
we'll have Tom write the decision, and hopefully he'll have enough time to get it to you before the meeting, so you'll
Oh,
have time
absolutely.
to look at it, and
We're
then
aiming for
And-
January 4th, was it?
January 4th
January
is the next
4th,
meeting, yeah.
wow.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And you want me to send a copy to Kevin, too?
You send it to me.
Light out
I'll
tomorrow.
answer everyone.
All right, that's right, he's gonna charge you to read it.
Could you ask Bracken just to update the date on the
Yeah,
plan set?
they're updating
January
the-
4th, can you believe it? Oh, that's painful.
So
That's so painful.
This will be updated on the.
I want like
15 minutes.
All right,
more time off.
okay.
So when they update the cover sheet, each page has a box like that on the sidebar that has the
Yeah,
date of
I
change.
saw that, but,
That's probably,
you know, to have it clear up here that this is the more recent set, you
Yeah, maybe
don't
they
have
could-
to look through it all.
Put the date
That's
right
no
on
problem, I
top.
can ask to do that, just, Tom, you can maybe communicate if there's any other administrative changes on that I can make. I can make sure Bracken does that, and if there's anything
Yeah,
else.
I've
No,
seen the
because
update on the
Site
small
plan's all approved,
sheets,
yeah.
yeah. But to have a large date there, it just makes it,
Makes sense.
this is the most recent set sort of thing.
Oh, that's true. That's right, I'm looking at outdated set.
Thank you, guys.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Right.
Peter, given these giant fans here, I think really the only ones that need to be replaced would be the cover sheet if we're gonna change the date, and then the one that has the building.
Anything happen on this? Nothing. Nothing happened.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I'll have those printed, ready to go on that.
Yeah, but just those 2 sheets, these aren't stapled together,
But they did
which I usually don't like, but
Yeah,
in
I
this
seen
case
that,
it
yeah.
worked out well.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
I see you, Peter.
Yeah, next item is revegetation plan for Windchime Point Red Cedar Road Circle. Any updates?
No, I sent an email after the last meeting, as you requested, to, I forget the fellow's name from Windchime, but telling him that the board still wanted a more detailed plan, and he said they would get us one, and it hasn't come in, so we are where we are on that one. We are where we were.
Send him another email, say we have it on the January 4th agenda.
Because he got a copy of this agenda. It's the only email I have for Windchime, so I've just been sending him that, but, Anthony Coletti, that's the fellow from the management company that asked me that for.
the management.
And what I did was I actually sent him, because there's no grades or anything on that plan, I actually sent him a scan of that piece of the original approved plan of that part of the road with the drainage structures and the utilities and the grades and all of that as something, as a base for them to work on, so hopefully they get something done for the 4th.
Okay, release of road covenant of 35 Fox Hill Road in exchange for cash performance guarantee.
Did you get my letter, Tom?
Yes, and the board has your letter,
Oh, okay.
although it sounds like you weren't able to talk to Mr. Bevilacqua about
He
his numbers.
he never returned the call, so I made some calculations of my own.
Yeah, because what we got was a one-page, an estimate that listed things but didn't give individual prices, and Bevilacqua himself is going to be the contractor, so.
Oh, okay.
Charlie really wanted to talk to him about that, but he didn't respond.
Well, I think we should accept the amount that Charlie is proposing of 22,500, and if Mr. Bevilacqua has a comment, then he will come forward with that. So, I'd accept a motion to,
Admittedly, it didn't, I didn't get to place a call to him until mid-afternoon today, so
Maybe is that yours
all
or
I got was an answering service.
this yours?
You're gonna call him 2 weeks
That
ago.
one, right. Yeah,
My
'cause
schedule
it's
last 2
fine.
weeks, and
Yeah.
so forth, it's been a little crazy.
So do you think it's better if we vote on this or wait till the 4th?
I'm just looking to see if I actually have a release prepared here for you to sign tonight. Actually, I don't even have a release for you to sign, so you could put that off.
All right, why don't we
I'll have
put that on the
paperwork for you.
January 4th agenda and, you know, just express our, you know, our apologies if that caused any delay, but,
If there's any changes in that, you know, I'll update the letter. and
yeah,
give it
yeah.
to you.
It's just it's a chunk of change, so maybe we should wait to get a little feedback from him. Okay. Definitive subdivision plan, status of BCDM Aquay Highlands roadwork, grading to allow winter snow plowing. It doesn't look like we have any visitors from the neighborhood.
Well, here's
Did
what
you-
happened. You had asked me to contact
There's two
Tim.
neighbors, yeah.
Tim Daly, I think it is, Tim, Dorsey, Tim Dorsey and Eric Lubrano. Eric was the one who had made a deal with Mr. Haney that Haney would bring in 3 truckloads of stone, what turned out to be crushed pavement material, apparently, that they brought, and a Bobcat, which he did. And Mr. Lubrano spread the material on the road, and best he could. And I talked to Mr. Dorsey over the phone, who said that it was fine for him to do snow plowing the way it was done, even though Charlie went out and inspected it afterwards. He just happened to be here the day that got all those calls straightened out, and still some potholes out there. But what Mr. Dorsey says is that he keeps his plow about an inch off the ground anyways. He's not going to be digging into the material, and once the potholes fill up, they're going to have a snow base if they're having
Right.
a snow situation
Pretty rough,
out there.
yes.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, but in any
been
case, I
like
mean,
that for
Lubrano
years.
and Dorsey were happy
It's a
with
problem,
it, so.
It didn't look
I
to me as
know.
if anything had been done. It really did. There was potholes from Great Oak Road South, Great Neck Road South,
All the way up.
all the way in.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything got spread, but maybe it did. It certainly deteriorated
Eric-
real fast if it did get spread.
Eric says he did it, and Eric said that he had told Haney that he got the materials and the Bobcat was able to do that. He wouldn't be complaining anymore, and he's keeping his word. He's not complaining anymore about the road. And like I said, Dorsey is the important one, because he's the guy that does the snow plowing, and he says it's
Okay,
fine.
he
with
says
snow
he can
plowing.
deal with it.
Less than
All
May,
right.
It gets plowed, it gets plowed.
All right. So should we keep that item on our agenda?
Sure.
Oh, forever, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I just won't call it, I'll just put it road work and leave it at that.
Yes.
because I went by today and the snow fence that he put up, well, just that curtains all fell down.
Over off of DeGrasse?
Yeah, there's about 3 sections, you know, the pegs, 3 sections right in the middle
Yep.
of the roads. The string come off or something. If he had the straw bales there, it would work better.
He hasn't put them in?
No.
I asked Catherine about that when I was down here the other day, and she said no.
Yeah.
It hadn't been done.
I went there today just to see.
I thought that was her condition for not busting them, for not getting the.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay, there's no new business, old business, discussion of planning board review of town road taking. So, on Monday, Tom, Charlie, and I met with the town manager, town council, and director of DPW, Catherine Laurent. Had a good conversation about the process, how the planning board reviews things, how we really need some more time to comment and make sure the comments get back to the right parties so the drafting engineer can make the changes. So, we spent about an hour together, and town council took great notes and is going to draft a policy for us to comment on and recommend to the Board of Selectmen as town policy. So the goal is that each party, see, the plans go into the Board of Selectmen. It seems like DPW is then charged with getting them through this process. They get to us at a certain point, and by the time we get them back to the DPW, it's too late. So we're gonna just CC each other more and act quicker on things. So I think we're gonna see plans sooner, and have some time to comment on them. The DPW director did request to be invited to our meetings when we discuss them, which I'm more than happy for
Yeah,
people
that
to
makes a
come.
lot of sense.
Sounds fair.
She gets a copy of every agenda of your meetings. just
I
so you
know, but it's different than saying, okay, this is definitely on, we invite you to come.
Yeah, because it's part of all department heads, get all the agendas, but the, just, I don't know if you made it clear, there's going to be a policy put together to become a selectmen's policy, and they said they would run it by the planning board, either at our next meeting or following meeting when it's ready, to get the board's input before it went back to the selectmen to be adopted as a selectmen's policy relative to the process for road takings and the timing of.
There's gonna be
Getting
some
plans and all that.
room to better define the cost of engineering, that has always had a flat fee of 5,000.
Yeah.
The DPW director said that wasn't enough. I'm like, okay, then in the standard petition, it's gonna say something like up to 15,000. And then as she works through, and gets the estimate, by the time we have town meeting, we'll have a quote to actually put in, that will hopefully be under 15,000 so we can modify the warrant article. So. That's part of the reason they run out of money, because they only have 5,000 to do this, so.
Yeah, and the couple of things that were going to be done, they were going to define the drainage easements, as
Yeah.
Charlie had suggested, which has been the main issue there. And the other thing they're going to do is, at some point, go out and check to see that the road bounds are in place that
Yeah.
are supposed to
That
be out
makes
there.
sense.
They're gonna, they accepted Charlie's recommendations, that, yeah, so.
The main intent there was so that the town in the future, once it accepted a street, would have the means to go out and identify where those street lines were and where the drainage easements were. That's one of the things that's incumbent upon the town, to be able to identify where its road layouts actually are, so that people know. And in lots of cases, as you know, the drainage areas are outside the limits of the layout. So without those easements being defined in the warrant article, and without them being defined on the plan, it makes it very difficult to spot them on the ground, which is important for the homeowner. If the easement happens to be a part of a homeowner's lot, the town needs to address that issue, so that if they go digging around for drainage, somebody isn't running out the front door and say, what are you going to my property?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
You don't have
messy.
the authority to be here.
It's messy right now, so
That sort of thing would be taken care of by what we talked about the other day, so
this
I think it's all
will,
good.
yeah, this will
Yeah.
tighten it up. Next item, status of the Greenway project. So I took the opportunity on Monday to talk to the town manager, and he asked for an email just to have that RFP, to remind the town manager's office to issue that RFP for the design work. I also need to talk to Drew McManus about a short list of the steps we have to go through for approval, just so that we can kind of touch base on those authorities and make sure that it's going to be a go. I don't want to spend any engineering money,
Then you can't do it, there's a,
right, until we know that all these different agencies that have some type of interest on this land are going to say yes, so that's my job. Report from Design Review Committee.
Design review was Knockabout Beer over here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that was that one.
Community Preservation Committee, we met and recommended both funding applications submitted by the Friends of the Mashpee Wildlife Refuge. And that-
National Wildlife.
National Wildlife Refuge. And that's the historic documentation and pamphlet of the refuge development, creation and development, and then the trail, the new trail guides. So that was kind of exciting. That was neat. The tribe withdrew their application for the water resource, financial assistance with the Water Resource Center.
Natural resources, yeah.
But I did send David the chart of CPA funding application, like the eligible uses of the money, so hopefully the tribe can figure something else out, because you're doing good
Exploring all
stuff.
the options.
Yeah,
The only way you gotta do.
yeah. So, and in their letter where they withdrew their application, they also supported the work by the Mashpee Wildlife Refuge for the trail guide and the historical booklet. So that was kind of cool. That was nice. Environmental Oversight Committee.
I was under the weather that night, and I missed that meeting.
So when do we have to stop using plastic bags?
Oh, I don't know, I haven't heard,
Oh.
I think we still have another meeting.
But that was
Okay.
January, no, maybe not.
Okay.
That was about a year,
Is it about
Yeah,
a year?
well, it'll be a year after.
end of 2017 or something
But
like that.
there is some pushback in some towns and cities.
Yeah, I want my bags.
I do, too.
I've been saving every last
Paper
plastic
bags
bag
are
I get.
horrible, we're giving out now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Take 'em out,
yeah.
they
Oh,
break.
they rip like.
Yeah, no,
they're
you
tiny,
gotta,
too.
you gotta get the reusable bags with a really wide handle
Yeah, that's
that goes
right.
over your shoulder. I mean, I can carry all my groceries up now on my shoulder. It's much easier for me.
Well,
I can stuff 6 old Stop and Shop bags in my pocket and use them as I
I
need them.
I leave my supper in the
recycle
Stop and
them.
Shop when I go there now, so I have no worry, no bags.
some of those bags, the reusable bags that they were handing out were like a half a thousand thick.
Yeah,
That's amazing, you know, to think the strength. that you-
that's straight
Yeah.
up that, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, in some cases, you didn't have the strength if they put too much in it.
yeah.
Depends what you put packing in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Historical District Commission,
We had a meeting,
you had a meeting.
and you just saw what we, took,
Talk about it.
the
Yeah.
application, and I got to adjourn, make the motion to adjourn. So I kept my record going.
And the commission approved its minutes from its last meeting on May 26th. So it's not often they get a chance to actually approve the minutes, because it's rarely they meet, but got it done.
David's not here, so there's no other, David Koharian, so no update on the MMR, Military Civilian Community Council. How about the Cape Cod Commission, David?
Cape Cod Commission, we did meet, there was one project we met over, we reviewed over in Sandwich, but they did bring to attention that there's funds that have accumulated from mitigation efforts that is accessible to Mashpee, that the Cape Cod Commission keeps a tally of. They earmarked for specific line items. Mashpee has a considerable amount of money that can be made available. They said that they do send this list to the town, so they are aware of it. Some of the line items were transportation, affordable housing, water resources were the ones that Mashpee has funds available for. They're considerable amounts.
Can I see them?
Those are all mitigation funds from various projects over the years.
I did
They're held in escrow for the town.
Do we ever lose these?
No, because they're being held in escrow for the town. It's our money.
Okay.
They're just holding it until have something to do with it, I guess.
Excuse me. You were saying something? I'm sorry.
I asked, I didn't see a line item for any sort of historic preservation, so I was wondering if there was a formula or means to develop similar financing to promote
Well,
preservation efforts. but-
these are only funds that are provided by developers as mitigation for impacts
Previously
they have. And
provided,
nobody's
right.
ever had an impact on a historic resource, so that's why there's no historic preservation money in there, because there's no impact fees. In effect, is what they are, mitigation fees.
Don't they have some timelines to set with some of it, though?
I thought
with
they
respect
did.
to
No,
What
because
happens after a certain period of time is expired?
I don't think so, not with the commission.
I thought so. That's what I've heard, is like, if you don't use it, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 10, 15 years. It's a long time. But if you don't, I heard if you don't use it.
Well, then
you
maybe we
lose
ought to just have the town say, we want our money now, and,
Do you
and
want
send it
to
over
check,
in our
do you
funds.
want to check with,
yeah, I'm gonna make a
on
note to
that?
myself,
The only
yeah.
thing I was thinking of was, as we've seen some of these projects come forth, and it was Mashpee Commons is just in the back of my head, that there was certain mitigation monies that were put aside for projects like that, that after it reached a certain point of, say, traffic intensity, that certain requirements kick in. And I thought that's where that money was.
Mashpee Commons actually doesn't have anything in there. As a matter of fact, they practically have a credit with the town.
Yeah,
Mostly,
that
the
credit.
biggest one is South Cape Village
Yeah.
in terms of putting money into that fund for
Remember Doug used to say that.
transportation, all the rest, yeah.
No, he's just,
Yeah, because they got themselves credit for stuff that they had already done
Yeah.
anyways. That was a deal they did when Joyce was running the town, so it's money gone, but
all right, then we have reports on nitrogen.
by the way, could I get that list so I could make a copy and I'll know what I'm talking about with the commission? Just run it out to the hall while you.
So, let's see. October, all right, so those look good. We got a Christmas card from Charlie and Sue Riley. Thank you very much. That was very sweet. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Year to
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Yeah.
Safe and happy holidays.
And then our waterway licenses are here with Tom for you to view. So,
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Walk out the room for
Yeah.
2 seconds.
are you all set, Tom?
What's at the bottom of the list here? You got your Christmas card, okay. This
And we
is a
said
bunch
Merry
of-
Christmas,
there's a
Merry
bunch of stuff
Christmas,
about
Happy New
the-
Year.
The Great River Landing, in case anybody wants to see it, MIPA filings and the NF, so. That's the one that Catherine's building a double ramp on.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn. It's seconded. All in favor? Aye. That's great.